Saturday, December 22, 2012. This is Mercedes Diesel Guy, and this is my 1995 Subaru Legacy. Well, the moral of today's story is sometimes it's the beginning of the end, and I think that's the case for this car now. I have done a lot of videos on this car, as you've all seen, and that may be ending very soon. I pull off the highway at the toll booth there, and I'm waiting in line in traffic, and the check engine light starts blinking again. Now, the last time this happened was way back in March and April, and it turned out to be cylinder 2 misfiring on me. The code was P0302 back in April, and the code was also P0302 yesterday. I know this because because as soon as I got out of traffic, I went to the nearest Advance Auto and I had them scan the car. So we parked, we went about our business, and then drove home that night, and the car more or less behaved okay. So I decided to cut to the chase this time, and I did a couple of things. First, I took the car around the neighborhood to warm it up this morning, and before I did that, I swapped the cylinders 2 and 4 spark plug wires, just in case the problem was the wire and not the engine itself. Because it easily could have been a spark plug wire arcing against the intake manifold. I got the car back here warmed up, pulled out the spark plugs, and I did a compression test. And here we have cylinders 1, 3, 2, and 4. And they read 165, 165, 160, and 100. You can see I still have the compression tester threaded into the spark plug hole there. Back in April, what I did was I had assumed I had a burned exhaust valve on cylinder 2, and I replaced the whole cylinder head. Well, and then the car ran more or less fine. I mean, it's never run correctly. It's always just seemed a little bit shaky and off balance. But the light didn't come back for 8 months now, and not sure exactly how many miles I've driven, but it's got to be just ballparking close to 20,000 miles since I made that repair. Maybe a bit less. Even if we call it 15. It looks like it's the beginning of the end. I mean, if this is going to be a recurring problem, I mean, looks like I would either need an engine rebuild or a used engine. But there's too many other things on the car which are just questionable at this point. I've got an ABS light that keeps coming on, which really does seem to be a sensor, which is the insulation is cracked and the sensor's getting wet in the rain, but I really don't feel like tracking that down, especially now in the winter. I know I have a cooling system leak. It's not at the cylinder head, it's actually just at hose connections, but I can't seem to stop that entirely. I mean, the car is still basically a reliable daily driver, but I mean, that cylinder there is in no good. I mean, it's in no good shape, so let me also show you the spark plugs here. Here's the cylinder 4 spark plug. And here's the cylinder 2, which is noticeably more dirty and scorched. But also, when I pulled out the cylinder 2 spark plug, it came out with this extra washer on it. And I can't for the life of me figure that out. So, I think when I throw this back together now, before I do anything else, I'm actually going to throw some new spark plugs in it just for safe measure. But I'm going to have to go walk over to the store to get them. So, I'm kind of crossing my fingers that the car will get me through the winter. Like I said, it still starts and runs. I mean, even when I had the problem earlier this year, it still started and ran. But at this point, I don't think I'm going to do any more repairs on it that are not absolutely necessary to get me through the winter. And then in the spring, I'll see if somebody wants to buy it for a parts car, and I'll get myself a new daily driver. I suppose ideally another 2.2 Subaru, but they're getting harder to find, and the ones that are around tend to be overpriced and rusted to all hell. So it may be time for a different car. So we'll see what happens. Thanks for watching, and obviously I'll still have repair videos on my wife's Subaru 2.2 Legacy, which is still running just fine. So this is Mercedes Diesel Guy, and thanks for watching.